Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Pickups Video, aka Booty Video. This is for the first Booty video for March of 2023. It is now April Fool's, April 1st, so obviously let's see what we picked up in the month of March. March was a pretty good month, considering that only really went to one event, that being the first Toronto Game Expo, and I'll have a little bit of a tidbit story about that when we get to the items that I picked up at the Toronto Game Expo. But this one, this booty video is a little bit mixed as opposed to the last one, which covered January and February. The last one was mostly video game related. Now, video game stuff is primarily in this one, but there are also some figures in this one, and I'm going to tell you right now, the one for April, for this month, will probably not be as abundant as in like what stuff. It just depends on what goes on sale, what events come up, things like that. But I will say that there's at least two items, and they are not the same thing. Like, they're not all video games, they're not all something else. And one thing that was highly anticipated, because it's been 7 years since we've had a new album from said band. And they're notorious for having long album cycles. But you'll know what it is when May 1st rolls around, when I do the booty video for April. But anyway, so what did we pick up in the month of March? Well, first item, I noticed, well, I didn't notice, upon cleaning stuff in the house, my mom noticed that there was a Best Buy gift card that my dad got for Christmas one year that he totally forgot he had. And obviously, he has no real desire to use it, so lo and behold, he gives it to me. Because he knows I like technology and I like gaming and stuff like that. Now, I'm very grateful that I got that. But the problem with it being Best Buy is that if you're a gamer, for the most part, I don't buy games from Best Buy unless there's some specific thing that they have that nobody else has. So for most of my gaming needs, or at least game-wise, I either go to, for physical things, I go for Amazon or GameStop. GameStop a little bit less because I haven't really been there in quite some time, maybe since, probably since around Christmas, but that was local to where work was. So I was, and it was, I was trying the demo out for Harvestella, and I really liked the game, so I picked it up around the time it went on sale. But actually, I missed the sale, which kind of sucked, but I really liked the game regardless. So anyway, that being Best Buy, you're limited to stuff that is mostly popular. So stuff that's like A-list titles. So obviously don't have PS5, so I don't have any interest in PlayStation things or Xbox things, so only a Switch. So I was thinking, what's something that's normally expensive and rarely goes on sale that I can at least feel like I got it on sale from Best Buy? And that had to be first-party Nintendo stuff. So the closest thing that came to mind is Splatoon 3. So I got Splatoon 2 actually from GameStop when, lo and behold, it was a used copy, and so it was slightly on sale. Because first-party Nintendo games rarely go on sale. Unless it's something like some event like Black Friday, something like that. You're always going to pay like the $90 price point for most of the first-party Nintendo titles. $70 if you're US. So, but I decided to pick up Splatoon 3 because I pretty much have every Mario game there is. I'm pretty much up to date on Zelda stuff with except for obviously Tears of the Kingdom, which is coming out in May. And maybe Hyrule Royals, the second one, the Age of Calamity. But this one seemed to be the most logical choice to spend the Best Buy gift card on, so I picked up this one. And I really like Splatoon, but I don't play it enough, as much as I should, because it's more of a multiplayer type of game, and I'm more of a solo gamer player. But I really do like solo campaigns in it, and the only surprising thing about the Splatoon series, in my opinion, is that the first game has not been ported over to the Switch, and it's not like the games don't work or anything because of the closure of the eShop, which just happened last week, for the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS. They both closed, and Splatoon was on the Wii U, and then 2 and 3, this one, are on the Switch. So I'm just surprised that, you know, they didn't port that over, especially since so many Wii U titles have come to the Switch, like Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is one, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is another one, Hyrule Warriors is another one. There was a Wii U and a 3DS version of that, and that got us a Switch port. So I'm surprised that Splatoon 1 did not get ported over, which is kind of strange. But anyway, I'm glad I picked that up. Splatoon, I really like, though, the tutorial part of it, because it seems like it's really simple to easy to pick up and play. Obviously, though, when you're going to get with Splatfests and things like that, then it turns into like a first-person, third-person shooter, which I'm not normally a fan of, but Splatoon is more of a family-friendly thing, so I think I'm okay with that. Like Halo's not my thing, or Call of Duty's not my thing. This is my favorite shooter. There's that. Next up item, a game I played a demo for, and really initially didn't really like the game because I thought it was too slow-paced, but then when I got the hang of it, and I'm not normally a strategic RPG kind of guy, but I kind of like the medieval theme of it, and it did go on sale a few times. I missed the first 2 times, and then lo and behold, it was on Amazon, it was on sale, so I decided to pick it up while I had the chance, and that is the DioField Chronicle. Now, a lot of people will compare the DioField Chronicle to games like Fire Emblem, which I am also a fan of. Like, I'm not heavily immersed in it, but I know it's a good quality game, and even though I'm not, like I said, I'm not mainly a strategic RPG kind of player, it's easy enough for me to pick up and play, and they make it so that a newbie like myself can get immersed in the medieval world. But it got mixed reviews when it came out in late September, but you know, mixed reviews doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad game overall. Like, for the most part, like, initially I didn't like it that much, but when I found I got into the story aspect, and there is a story, and I started to learn how the mechanics are flushed out, I found that I myself liking it more and more and more. So you never judge a book by its cover or like your first impression, because sometimes that can be wrong if you just give it a chance and play it a little bit more. So this is one of the ones I'm glad that I stuck with because I ended up liking it. So there's that. Next item up for bid. Up for bid. But the next item on this list, am I in the right order? Let me just check, double check. No, it is not this item. So the next one is not a game. It's in fact a figure, and it is for a series that I have barely watched, but I've seen the character over and over and over again, and I've grown to like be attracted to the character. Like all the posts that are on social media and things like that about the character, the cosplays I've seen of the character. I like the character. I think I even took a photo of a car, last Anime North, of the character, and I knew that that was a popular character because why wouldn't it be if it's not on, it's at Anime North. But that is from Good Smile Company, Nanodroid of Marin Kitagawa, the lead character, if you will, well, the lead female character anyway, from My Dress Up Darling. So here is the Bonnie, her holding the body pillow of Shizuku-tan, which is a cosplay, an anime character that she likes to cosplay as. I should really get on it. I really should go and you know, invest in watching that show, because you know, it's one of those shows that I like just by watching the first episode, and I can tell that I'm going to allow the body pillow dropped, but I'll fix that later. But if you missed out on the pre-order for the Nanodroid, which became available like when they shipped them out this month, if you go on Good Smiles site, you can definitely purchase that from them. I used to think that once the pre-orders were done, that was it, that you couldn't pre-order anything. But that is not the case, because there's something that I missed a pre-order on for that I want to get, and hopefully the tax return comes in soon, along when I get the new gaming computer. Along with that, I want to pick that up. So patience, patience, patience. So the next item, initially had an issue with this, and it was ironically the day before the gaming expo that we went to was supposed to take place. The release date was March 24th, and I don't know how you can botch up a delivery that is so simple on release day. So the item got damaged, so it got sent back to Amazon HQ, and then I was supposed to be given a refund within 3 to 5 business days. It's been more than 5 business days, so business days being Monday to Friday, and it is Saturday as I am filming this. And I have since updated my credit card just to see where expenses are and whatnot, because obviously I got tickets to Super Mario Brothers movie. I did not see my refund yet, so on Monday I will definitely have to investigate about that. But I was not in a good mood when I said I'm anticipating this, and then I didn't get it because they screwed it up and damaged it right when it was going out for delivery. And then I got the message and I was like, how could you screw that up so easily? But anyway, while we were at the gaming con, I had an idea what I was looking for, which totally slipped my mind because I was still pissed off because they didn't send me this, and I was getting even more pissed off because we were waiting outside for about an hour. When we got there, like an extra hour, and it was raining, and I was getting friggin' cold. Like shivering cold, because it wasn't freezing rain, but it was not nice to wait outside. And then when I was going inside and checking out all the tables, most of the tables had mostly retro stuff. It was very little PS4 and onwards, so little PS4, little PS5, little Xbox Series X, like stuff like that, and very little Switch. And I was particularly looking for this one. One table actually had the second game in this series, and they were selling it, the Switch version, for about $135. I'm not too sure if that's the asking price for it, but the company that makes this game, Koei Tecmo, is notorious for doing low print runs of the Switch version of the game. Like the PS4 version is always easy to find. And I asked them, did you happen to have the new game? And it just came out yesterday, and it was like, we have the second one. I don't know. Check one of the other vendors. So nice help there. So I was pretty disappointed, like going throughout that con, going from table to table when I had the space to do so, until I found this one vendor who was selling up-to-date stuff, and it wasn't on like what you're looking on the table. It was on display. You are looking at here. How do you pronounce it? Atelier Ryza 3. Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key. So this is apparently the last game in the series, and I knew beforehand, because when I was trying to get the first one, another character that I see everywhere and don't know who it is and want to know what it was about, and then I found it was a game. I'm like, oh, it's a JRPG, so I know it's right up my alley. I got the first one. I luckily got the first one based off of getting a gift card at Christmas, so that made it less, because at the time the first game for the Switch was hard to come by, and it was out of print. But that's when I learned about the Koei Tecmo low print run that they do of all the Switch games. So, and I think that was also coming into January of that year, which I think was either 2021 or 2022, that the second game was coming out, and there was a low print. I knew they were going to do the same shit, so I pre-ordered that one and then got that one on release day. They didn't screw up because it was GameStop who I did it with, but Amazon screwed up the pre-order for this one by damaging my original copy, so I eventually did find it because I went down that last aisle at the con, which had some more recent gen stuff, and lo and behold, they asked how much is it? $80, which is actually $10 less than what Amazon is charging, plus tax and shit. Well, no shipping because it's Prime, but you get the idea. No tax, just a strict $79.99, which is $80. So saved $10 on that. Was very happy. And then the next item, lo and behold, because there wasn't just gaming stuff at this Toronto Game Con, there were vendors selling like merch, like anime merch, and there was one anime merch who was selling quintessential quintuplet stuff, figures. But the thing is, they only took cash. So, and I took out, cash, that I'd been saving for like this thing, like, if in case I find something I wanted to buy. And lo and behold, that was the end of my day down there, because there was a ton of quintessential quintuplet stuff, as I said, and obviously there were some Mikus that I wanted, so I got not one, not two, but 3 Miku figures, and I really had to spend time to narrow it down. So these are the boxes for them. So this is the first one, which is kind of her in a black dress, which I have here. So I picked up that one, and this is just like, it came in 2 separate pieces, and then you put it together. Look at the heels on that. So you could poke my eye out with that. So there's that Miku, and then there was this one, which is strictly, and then there's the anime side of it. Her wearing nothing but a white shirt, looks like. This one came as one piece, so it's just there, and then put it in the stand. So there's that Miku figure. And then this little one is a crane fig, that came in like one of these. So it's just so cute. There's Miku in the yukata. Eating what looks like octopus dumplings. So yeah, so I picked up those, and that was the end of my day. What was funny was that there wasn't that, like, there were things at the con that I was interested in getting. I saw Soul Calibur for the Sega Dreamcast for about $50, which I was tempted to get. But the one thing I forgot to do at the con was look for a copy of Perfect Dark Zero, because the last time I did this type of video, I picked up Perfect Dark for the N64, and then the sequel was released as an Xbox 360 launch title when Microsoft bought Rare, Perfect Dark Zero, and that was one thing I totally forgot to look for. So I'll have to probably wait until Anime North come next month, or there's a gaming expo in Barrie happening on June 11th, I believe it is. So I might decide to check that one out, because it's $10 less than the Toronto one. And the Toronto one, it wasn't bad. Like, they should have used the whole building. The Queen Elizabeth building on the exhibition grounds is where this con was, and it's its first one. But they said that they would improve and probably try and get the whole building next time, so that people who pre-order didn't have to be waiting outside, because they had to verify the traffic going in and out of the building. That was their thing. Like, it was filled to capacity kind of thing. And what sucked is that the weather, it was raining, which is really shitty. But they apologized, and they said they're going to definitely take that into consideration, so that they will be a little bit more prepared. And considering that the Barrie one is well respected, and the organizers were the same organizers for this one, you'd think they would know how to handle such a crowd. But the Barrie one is on June 11th, and then the Toronto one is going to have a second iteration this year, and that will be October 28th, will be the next Barrie one. I mean, the next Toronto one. So definitely considering going back to both of the, well, it'll be my first time for the Barrie one, but the Toronto one I would definitely consider going to again. Next up, something that we haven't done before. It is anime related. It is an anime. it's a show I kind of like. I like the show because I like the original show. That this it's not a spin-off, but it's kind of like a continuation of it. And it's by my favorite mangaka, which is Rumiko Takahashi. But I kind of fell off the train a little bit. Not that I didn't like the show, but you got Yashahime, Princess Half Demon, Season 2, Part 1. And I haven't even finished Season 1 yet. And I've been enjoying Season 1, but I saw a little bit of the dub when they brought back the original actors for the original characters, Inuyasha, Kokugome, and stuff like that. But it seems like they've aged a lot, so it's hard to get back into the vibe of their characters. The new characters are somebody different. You recognize them because they're current actors. Like a lot of the Vancouver actors I find who did voiceover back in the day aren't doing as many anime things because, you know, Vancouver doesn't get contracts to dub anime anymore. It's mostly primarily done in Texas, LA, and select areas in the States. And with technology today, you rarely hear an anime dub from Vancouver. So like, it's not that I don't like the actors. I do like a lot of shows from when they were dubbing anime back in the day. But it was not very difficult, but it was just unusual to hear their voices once again because it doesn't sound like it did way back in the early 2000s or late 2000s, before 2010, when Inuyasha was still a thing. But I still like the storytelling in this, and Rumiko Takahashi is definitely one of my favorite mangakas, as I said. So I had to pick that up, regardless of the fact that I'm up to date or not. So there's that. Also, on that same day, March 28th, got the new edition of... I've been in and out of sports, but one sport that I constantly seem to love and seem to have a connection with is baseball, obviously. And my home team is the only Canadian team in the entire league, and they're doing pretty well. Well, we just started. But literally, when a new season of sports starts, you got to have your key sports games. So you got your NHLs, you got your Maddens, and in this case of baseball, you got MLB The Show 23. So you will never see me stream this game, partially because of YouTube's policy on using like copyrighted music and videos. I had this problem when I wanted to do a Let's Play with the last year's edition, MLB The Show 22, with overrated Shohei Ohtani on the cover. But what a great game. What a great game. And anybody who's anybody, I love the fact that there's just so many modes in this game to do stuff. Like, if you're not suited to using a certain mode of pitching, you can change it up to make it a little bit more familiar. Same with the batting, and then the base running, and then all the different aspects of the game of baseball. And this, by far, is probably one of the greatest sports series of video games ever made. And I bow my hat to San Diego Studio, who unfortunately is associated with PlayStation, because it was a PlayStation exclusive game until MLB The Show 21. MLB The Show 21 was released, it's the first 9th gen. Well, there is a PS4 version, but there was a PS5 version, and there was a version for the Xbox. And then last year was the year it went like multi-platinum for real. Like, the Switch got a version of it. And even though the Switch version is kind of I guess they consider the downplayed graphic-wise version of it, it's still pretty impressive. And like, my gaming sphere right now is limited to Steam and the Switch. And this game on the Switch is awesome. If you really love baseball, definitely check this one out. It's great. And the final item in this booty video, I actually paid for her not long after Nenodred Maren, because I check Good Smile site to see if, you know, they ding my card. They seem to have problems, you know, charging me on the first. They say your payment didn't work, and then I add the same card, and then it works. So I don't know, but I haven't had any security risks lately. So, but I paid for this figure, and then it took a few weeks after that before it shipped, and I literally got it on the second last day of this month of March. But I'm so glad that I pre-ordered her. One of my favorite characters, one of my favorite shows in recent memory is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And obviously, I had to pick up her up. Nanodroid Toru. So there she is. There's Nanodroid Toru, complete with holding the dragon tail for you to eat. And yeah, she does have a dragon tail, which you can pose and move. So if you haven't seen my unboxing video for Nanodroid Toru, let alone Nanodroid Marin, definitely check that out. If you missed out on the pre-order for her, she's definitely available now from Good Smile Company site directly. Same with Nanodroid Marin. So that is the pickup / booty video for the month of March 2023. Next month it's going to be pretty light, at least in terms of stuff that I know I'm getting. There's one music related thing, as I said, and then there's one game. Both kind of highly anticipated. So definitely be on the lookout for that one. It'll drop sometime probably around May 1st or so, because obviously stuff could happen between then and the end of the month, and who knows what I pick up. Maybe I'll do a video on my thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I did get tickets to today. Like, initially, everybody was kind of like, oh, Chris Pratt is Mario? It should have been Charles. And Charles is awesome. But the more trailers I saw of this, the more clips and little trailers I saw of the movie, he actually didn't do too bad a job. Like, Jack Black was awesome. But I'm starting to believe Chris Pratt can do it. And I think, regardless of what the critics say, I think it's going to be a really enjoyable movie, especially since Illumination, who did Despicable Me and the Minions movies, is behind it. The animation looks good. And Jack Black is awesome. And I think Chris Pratt will do a pretty decent job of it. Plus, there's Donkey Kong and Mario Kart stuff in there. So who's to say what else is going to show up in there? It won't be strictly like just the Super Mario Brothers game. I like how they included Donkey Kong in there. Because Donkey Kong, if you don't know, is part of Mario's history as a gaming icon. What will be criminal, I haven't seen Yoshi in the trailer at all, or any trailer. If Yoshi is not in this movie somewhere, that will be a disservice. But, you know, I think even if he isn't in it, if Yoshi's not in it, it still looks like it's going to be an enjoyable movie, so I'm really looking forward to it. So that is the booty video for March of 2023. Thank you very much for watching. Stay beautifully imperfect out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind to yourselves and each other. And y'all, keep up the awesomeness. We'll see you next time.